I unlocked the front door to silence. No echo of her heels clicking across the floor. No fake chirpy voice yelling, "Honey, you're home." The lights were off, the air stale. But I didn't need to step past the threshold to know something was wrong. The house smelled like absence. Not just an empty room kind of quiet, but the kind of emptiness you feel when someone leaves and takes the warmth with them. I dropped my suitcase by the door, slowly walking through the living room. Gone. Her plants. Her framed quote boards. The monstrosity of a pink lamp she insisted matched our energy. All gone. I made it to the bedroom, and that's when it hit me. The closet was stripped bare. Nothing but a few empty hangers left behind like skeletal fingers. No shoes. No makeup clutter. Her side of the bed looked untouched for days. Then my phone buzzed. One message. I found someone more successful. I moved out. Don't call. That was it. No signature. No attempt to explain. No fake tears. Just a digital shrug from the woman I married. I didn't scream. I didn't punch a wall. I didn't even sit down. I stood there, in the room that used to carry our dreams and arguments and Sunday mornings, and I stared through the window into the night. And I smiled. Because if she thought that message was going to break me, she clearly forgot who she married. I called my lawyer. No hesitation. No panic. Just precision. I wanted paperwork filed by morning. I wanted accounts frozen and assets protected. If she wanted out, she was getting out with exactly what she walked in with, nothing. 48 hours passed. Then it started. The missed calls. The voicemails. The sudden mistake text. "Can we talk?" I think I rushed into something. I didn't know he'd be like this. It took her exactly 2 days to realize she left everything behind, except her arrogance. But I wasn't the same man she left. And this story doesn't begin with her leaving. No, that was just the opening move. It begins with me walking back into a cold house and deciding to burn down every illusion she ever built. You want betrayal? You want chaos? You want to see what happens when a man gets stabbed in the heart and doesn't bleed, but reloads? Then let me tell you about Ashley, the woman who thought she could trade up and never look down. Let me tell you what she did, who she did it with, and what happened when I made sure the fall she took was permanent. This isn't about heartbreak. This is about war. You don't just wake up one day and know your wife's screwing someone else. It creeps in, quiet, like rot behind the walls, until everything looks fine on the surface, but you can smell that something's off. Ashley had changed weeks before she left. The signs were there, but I was too busy flying between meetings, running numbers, making sure our life was paid for and comfortable. She stopped asking how my day was. Started locking her phone. I'd walk into the room and her screen would go dark like it owed her loyalty. She'd always hated the gym, too sweaty, she said. But suddenly, she had a personal trainer named Chase. Yeah, no red flag there. Said she was getting her confidence back. I didn't question it at first. I was just happy she had a spark again. Then came the nights she'd crash at Monica's because they drank too much wine. Or the one time I called her at 10 p.m. and she didn't pick up until 3 in the morning, said her phone died. Thing is, she forgot we had a charger in Monica's kitchen drawer. I bought it. Still, I gave her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe I didn't want to believe it. Maybe I just wanted to make it to our anniversary without another fight. Then came the receipt. I was booking my return flight from New York and opened our shared email to double-check hotel reservations. There it was, an Uber receipt. Not from our address. Not even from Monica's. A $47 ride from a penthouse apartment downtown. The timestamp? 6:02 a.m. That's not a wine night. That's a walk of shame. I screenshotted it. Not because I needed proof, I already knew. But I wanted a reminder. Something to ground me when emotions flared later. I didn't confront her. Not then. Instead, I came home 2 days early. I landed, called for a car, and rolled my luggage through our front door expecting rage, expecting betrayal still warm in the sheets. But the house was dead. No confrontation. No broken mascara bottle on the floor. Just a clean exit, like she was proud of it. Like leaving me was the best move of her life. That message she sent was her victory lap. I found someone more successful. Like love had a stock ticker. And that's when it all clicked. The gym. The lies. The disappearing acts. I wasn't losing her to someone better. I was discarding someone who thought she deserved more while doing less. But here's the thing about snakes. You don't step on them. You track them. And I was about to track every lie, every late night, every Monica, until I had enough to not just walk away, but when I didn't call her. Didn't text. Didn't even react to the message she sent. I found someone more successful. Let her believe she'd won. Let her gloat. That silence? That was bait. She didn't expect me to come back early. She expected me to come back shattered. But instead of crawling, I was calculating. So when my lawyer confirmed she hadn't touched our joint accounts and hadn't filed anything legally yet, I decided it was time to pull the thread. I called Monica. She answered like nothing happened. "Oh hey, Noah. Ashley just left here this morning. She said you were out of town for a few more days." "Left this morning." "Interesting." I let her ramble. I acted like I didn't know a damn thing. Said I missed Ashley and just wanted to plan a surprise dinner. She ate it up, told me Ashley had really been trying to find herself lately and was working on some personal growth. Sure. If by growth, you mean letting a guy named Chase treat your body like a playground. But I had enough. I wanted to see her face. I wanted to see the lie break across her lips. So I waited until the weekend. She always came back Sunday afternoon, probably to keep up the illusion for neighbors or to grab more clothes. I waited in the living room. Door unlocked. Lights dimmed. No music. Just silence and a storm in my chest. She opened the door like she lived there. Walked in with sunglasses, 2 shopping bags, and a confidence that made me sick. When she saw me sitting there, legs crossed, whiskey in hand, she froze. "Noah?" she asked, confused, almost annoyed. "Welcome back," I said. Calm. Like a man who'd already buried the corpse of the relationship. She put her bags down slowly, eyes scanning me like she was trying to find out how much I knew. "You weren't supposed to be here till Tuesday." "Yeah. You weren't supposed to disappear without a word, either." She folded her arms. Defensive. That meant guilt. Always. I left a message. "Oh, that message?" I pulled my phone out and read it again like it was a joke. "I found someone more successful." "Don't twist my words," she snapped. "You were never home. You buried yourself in work. I needed more." "You needed more?" I stood. "More than this house? More than the vacations? The business I nearly killed myself building?" Her voice sharpened. "You think money is everything. You were never present. Chase actually listens to me." There it was. His name. She said it like he was a prize. I smirked. "Did Chase buy those bags you just dropped? Or were you using the credit card I pay off every month?" She stared at me, lips tight, jaw clenched. She didn't speak, because there was nothing left to say that wouldn't make her look worse. And then I dropped it. "I filed for divorce yesterday. I'm keeping the house. The car. The accounts. Everything. You walked out, remember?" That hit her. Her mouth opened. Closed. She blinked. "But I didn't mean to." "Oh, you meant it. Now own it." The moment the door slammed behind her, the silence felt different. It wasn't hollow anymore. It was clean. Like the infection had finally been cut out. But that didn't mean it didn't hurt. I stood in the kitchen staring at the glass she left behind. Lipstick still on the rim. For a second, I thought about smashing it. Thought maybe the sound would help get the tightness out of my chest. But I didn't. I just poured another whiskey and sat down. The weight didn't hit me all at once. It crept in through the cracks, the smell of her perfume still clinging to the hallway, the empty space in the closet where her dresses used to hang like ghosts, the way my phone stayed quiet even though part of me wished she'd call just so I could ignore it. This wasn't just betrayal. It was erasure. It was realizing I'd been building a life with someone who was chiseling an escape tunnel behind my back the whole time. And it messed me up. I couldn't sleep that night. My body was tired, but my brain was a war zone. Replaying every conversation, every dinner, every time she said, "I love you," while probably planning her next night out with that overgelled gym rat. What kind of woman walks out on a man who gave her everything? A selfish one. A liar. A user who saw love as a transaction and jumped ship the second she thought she could do better. I wasn't mourning a wife. I was mourning the illusion of a wife. And it still made me sick. The next morning, I woke up on the couch, back aching, throat dry. I saw the half-empty bottle on the table and the pile of divorce papers next to it. A pin balanced on top like it was waiting to carve the final wound. I didn't cry. Not once. But that didn't mean I wasn't grieving. I just did it differently. I deleted our photos off my phone. One by one. Our wedding day. Her birthday at the cabin. That weekend trip where she swore she wanted to start a family. All of them, gone. I made sure to look at every one of them before I hit delete, so I'd remember what manipulation looked like when it smiled. I told my parents. They were shocked. My dad said, "You always deserved someone who looked at you like a king." My mom? She said she never trusted Ashley's eyes. Said they looked like they were always hiding something. She was right. Mothers usually are. It took a week before I could sleep a full night. Took two before I stopped checking the window like she'd come back. But the truth? She never left me. She left the version of me that let her get away with things. And that man was gone. I was done being blindsided. The next time I loved someone, it'd be someone who earned it, not someone who used it as currency. The day the divorce papers came back signed, notarized, and legally official, I stared at them like a death certificate. Not hers, mine. The death of the man I used to be. The death of the marriage I once thought would survive anything. But once I shook off the weight of the past, it got easier to breathe. The next few days were cold and mechanical. I split assets the way a surgeon cuts out dead tissue. No emotion, just logic. She fought for the car. I let her have it, because I had already ordered a better one. She wanted her jewelry. Fine. Every necklace she wore while lying to me was a piece of garbage anyway. The only thing I refused to negotiate on was the house. That was mine. I built it, funded every inch of it. And I wanted her to remember that every time she drove past it and realized she had to start from scratch. I also cut ties with her entire circle. The fake friends. The brunch buddies who smiled to my face while probably covering for her behind the scenes. I didn't need people who watched me get betrayed and stayed silent. Monica tried calling. Twice. Left voicemails saying she didn't want to be in the middle of anything. I blocked her. And Chase? Oh, I did my research. Turns out he wasn't some successful businessman like she'd hinted. He was a gym trainer, with a reputation for bouncing from one wealthy woman to another like a parasite with muscles. I smiled when I found out he was living in a one-bedroom apartment downtown, probably expecting Ashley to pay his rent with the money she thought she'd get in the divorce. Jokes on both of them. But even with everything handled, I wasn't rushing into some healing retreat or spiritual cleanse. I focused on rebuilding, but not out of pain. Out of clarity. I upgraded the house. New paint. New furniture. New energy. I didn't want a single piece of her taste left behind. The bedroom got a full makeover, different bed, different sheets, different everything. I even burned the mattress. Dramatic? Maybe. Satisfying? Absolutely. Work? It boomed. The fire in me turned into focus. I made sharper deals, took bolder risks. My staff said I seemed more alive. That's the thing about heartbreak. If it doesn't kill you, it sharpens you into something dangerous. As for dating again, I wasn't in a rush. But I started going out again. Not to rebound, just to remember who I was before she made me forget. For the first time in years, I looked in the mirror and saw a man standing tall, not a husband bending over backwards for someone who never deserved him. Ashley left thinking she'd upgraded. But all she did was free me. It started with a photo. A mutual friend, one of the few I didn't cut off, sent me a screenshot from Ashley's Instagram story. There she was, sitting on the edge of a rooftop pool, holding a mimosa and wearing that fake, strained smile she always used when pretending things were better than they were. The caption? Soft life unlocked, nail polish, medium light skin tone. What a joke. I didn't respond. I didn't even let it bother me. But something in my gut told me it was all surface. That fake world of hers wasn't built on love or success. It was built on lies and shallow validation. And cracks were starting to show. A week later, the same friend texted again. Bro. Chase got fired. Apparently, our dear Mr. Protein Powder had a little habit of flirting with the wives of his clients. One of those husbands didn't find it amusing and happened to be on the board of the gym. Boom, terminated. Just like that. Ashley tried to cover it up. Deleted the stories. Started posting inspirational quotes about growth and finding purpose through challenges. Please. She moved into a small rental. Nothing like her old home. No luxury appliances, no marble countertops, just cold walls and reality closing in. The money she thought she'd get from me? Frozen. My lawyer made sure of that. Then came the begging. The first message came through an unknown number. I just want to talk. Then another. I made a mistake. Noah. Please. I didn't reply. Not because I didn't want to, but because I knew she needed silence more than insults. Silence stings. It forces people to hear themselves. A few days later, I bumped into her at the grocery store. Of all places. She wasn't wearing designer clothes anymore. Just a hoodie, leggings, and stress. No makeup. Hair tied up. She looked tired. Not physically. Soul tired. She froze when she saw me. Noah. I gave her a short nod and pushed my cart past hers. I had nothing to say. But she wasn't done. I didn't know Chase would turn out like that. I thought I needed something different. I turned around. Calm. Steady. You didn't want different. You wanted easy. And when it got hard, you ran. Tears welled up, but I didn't trust them. Ashley could cry on cue when it suited her. I thought you'd fight for me, she whispered. I leaned in, just enough so only she could hear. I did. Every day. For years. You just never noticed. And then I walked away. Left her in aisle 7, standing next to discounted cereal and all the choices she wished she could undo. Her new world wasn't gold. It was tinfoil. And the storm she thought she escaped? It was just delayed. I never raised my voice. Never screamed. Never sent one of those long, furious texts you write at 2 a.m. and regret by sunrise. No, my revenge was quieter than that. It was letting her watch me thrive while she unraveled in slow motion. After the grocery store encounter, I didn't hear from Ashley for a while. Maybe she thought our little aisle conversation was closure. Or maybe she was still clinging to Chase, trying to salvage whatever crumbling fantasy she'd bought into. But it didn't matter. I was done playing defense. I started showing up. Not to her, but to life. I hit the gym harder than ever. Got leaner. Stronger. Sharper. It wasn't about looking better. It was about feeling like myself again. Every drop of sweat was another lie she told me, leaving my system. And the business? I expanded. Landed 2 major clients I'd been chasing for years. Funny thing is, one of them used to work with the company Chase applied to. I didn't even need to block his opportunities. He did that himself, by being exactly what he was, a parasite. The invites started rolling in. Parties. Dinners. Events. I wasn't just attending, I was headlining. I walked into rooms I used to dream of entering, now shaking hands with people Ashley would have sold her soul to impress. One night, I brought a woman named Brooke to a fundraiser gala. Smart. Elegant. The kind of presence that doesn't need to try to dominate a room, she just does. We didn't post pictures. I wasn't flaunting. But people talk. And somehow, Ashley found out. She sent another message. I heard you've moved on. That was fast. I left it on read. She followed it with, do you ever think about us? I did. But not in the way she hoped. I thought about the man I used to be, the one who excused red flags because he believed in potential more than patterns. The one who confused manipulation for passion. That man died when I found my closet empty. I didn't need to slash her tires or expose her on social media. That's not power. That's noise. Power is walking through life like she never existed. Power is when your success is so loud, your silence becomes punishment. I heard Chase left her. She posted a story one night, just a black screen with a crying emoji. The kind of digital whimper people use when they want attention. I didn't flinch. She wanted a man who made her feel important for 5 minutes. She lost the one who would have built her an empire in 5 years. And now, the empire was mine alone. It's strange how betrayal sharpens your vision. Looking back, I don't even recognize the man I used to be. That version of me, the one who stayed up late worrying if she was okay, the one who made excuses for the cold looks, the skipped dinners, the sudden silences, he was dying long before she ever left. Ashley didn't break me. She revealed me. She exposed the cracks I had covered in patience, the blind spots I called loyalty, the wounds I ignored because I thought love meant endurance, even when it bled. Now, I live differently. Mornings are quiet, peaceful. I wake up to the sound of nothing, no arguments, no tension, no second-guessing my worth. Just sunlight through clean windows, black coffee, and a day that belongs entirely to me. Sometimes I think about what would have happened if I hadn't come home early. If I hadn't seen the empty closet. If I hadn't read that text. Maybe I would have still been pretending. Still smiling in public and dying in private. Still married to a stranger wearing the face of someone I once loved. But I did come home. And I did see the truth. And I did burn every illusion down to the studs. Ashley tried to reach out one last time. This was months later. It wasn't an apology. Not really. It was more like a self-pitying essay, filled with lines like, I thought you'd always be there. I didn't know how good I had it. We both made mistakes. No, we didn't. You did. I was just guilty of loving a mask. I never replied. I didn't need to. You see, the most brutal revenge isn't cruelty, it's clarity. It's showing them that you didn't just survive without them. You became unstoppable. I've had friends tell me they never saw me this focused, this alive. That says a lot, doesn't it? That you only become your best self when the wrong one walks away. So here's what I'd tell any man reading this. If you feel like something's off, trust it. If she starts pulling away, starts locking her phone, starts blaming you for everything while giving you nothing, don't beg. Don't chase. Watch. Wait. Collect data. And when the mask falls, don't scream. Don't cry. Don't shatter. Just rebuild. Quietly. Deliberately. And when she looks back, hoping to find the version of you that used to kneel for scraps, make sure he's gone. Because the truth is, she didn't leave you. She freed you. Let her go. And then become the man she never had the courage to deserve.